Good morning, Unity East. I'm so glad to see so many good faces smiling back at me. Everybody ready for the big breakfast? Well, to get on with the more important things of today, our minister today is Reverend Ben Walker. And our wonderful accompanist, Marina. And today the choir will be singing, and we will be blessed with a solo by our beloved Connie. Our opening hymn today is number 1, Praise God, It Is Everywhere. Thank you so much for your devotion. Mary Lou, would you like to come up and give us the daily word?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The title of today's reading is Live in My Heart. Whether they have passed on recently or many years ago, the people for whom I have cared deeply are alive in my heart. If I feel sad or lonely for those I miss, I pause to recall a special memory or something unique about them that make even ordinary days feel magical. Reflecting on the love and joy we shared and the blessings their lives afforded me, I feel comforted. I am thankful that these memories will always be mine to treasure. I know that life does not end with death. Life is eternal, and my loved ones will always be beautiful, beloved expressions of spirit. I am grateful those who have passed from this life experience continue to live in spirit and are forever in my heart. And I know they're all in a beautiful paradise, including my husband, and so I know that all is well.
Good morning, all. I've been in Unity a short time compared to a lot of you, only about 12 years. And I've learned a lot. I've got a lot of love here. I've heard about the principles that help my life a great deal. But one thing I won't give up is the traditional songs and the hymns. So please indulge me with this one. Anytime, Nancy. Oh,
turn the inside of your bulletin. And if you'd like to read the invocation prayer together. We are now in the presence here of the dear being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world, according to thy perfect law. Heard from them? For our message, then we have a meditation and the Lord's Prayer.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you on this wonderful day?
Good.
Good. So glad to see you all here today. A lot of bad driving, I understand. Maybe not bad driving, but difficult driving this morning, right? Because all the roads are closed. Oh, it's a full moon. Okay. I don't generally get into that, but I'll accept that. But I heard somebody just talking about expressways closed, and Gresham closed, and this closed, and so thank you for managing to get yourselves here today. I want to begin by thanking everyone who participated in the World Day of Prayer last Thursday. It was a wonderful experience, and I enjoyed it so much. I want to thank Linda Ridley and Reverend Anita for getting it all organized and doing the service, for Nancy and the choir, for Carol and the drummers, and Jackie and all the people who left in the kitchen and brought food. It was just a wonderful evening. And if you were here, you had that opportunity to share those wonderful singing bowls, the crystal bowls, which was a really powerful experience. So thank you all. We did prayer requests, and I want to encourage you, if you didn't do that, on Thursday service, you can feel free to do it this morning. We have these requests for prayers, and they'll go into this box. We're going to be sending all of the prayers to Silent Unity out of the village, where someone will pray for them 24 hours a day for 30 full days. So, and that's a very powerful thing. I've used Silent Unity so many times, and I encourage you to. So, just take time afterwards. There's some forms here. There are also some on the table and Fellowship Hall. Just fill it up, put it into the box, and we will see that it's taken care of. Okay, I encourage you to do that. I want to continue what I was talking about last week, about you personally being a divine connection to God's perfect mind, God's perfect plan. But I want to take a moment to review some of the points I made last week before I get into today. Point number one was, and it's something we hear all the time, but you must learn to really believe it. God created you absolutely perfect. No matter what your experience is, your truth was created absolutely perfect. You need to learn to live that truth and express that truth, but you are absolutely perfect. When we made what is called the fall from grace, our Catholic friends call it, when we chose to think we could do it better than God and separated from Him, or thought we separated from Him, we lost all of our perfection. We didn't really lose it, we forgot it. We forgot who we really are, divine beings. And God put a great plan into place called the plan of the atonement to bring us back to Him in our perfection, in all of our love and all of our glory. But we were kind of stubborn learners, to tell you the truth, and we resisted God a lot. We still resist God, right? We resist God all the time. But He put this plan into place to help us, not to force us, but to help us. And this brings up a whole different concept of what our world's about. Most of us think this life we're living on this planet is life, and that we go on to another level in heaven or something. This world, you may not agree with this, but I want you to think about it, is but a way station. It's a stop on the subway. It is the stop where we learn. We were put here, we came here to learn to be God again, to be perfect as God is perfect. And this place gives us a perfect opportunity, and we learn by trial and error. God allows us, as a good parent does, to make some mistakes. And who hasn't made them, right? But he gives us a chance to always correct it and come back. And we will ultimately leave this world to move on another plane of existence. But if you don't learn all your lessons this time, you get to come back to this classroom again. And most of us have been around here a lot. And a lot of you kind of know that instinctively, don't you? You think about possible past lives and things. And I totally believe in that, and I have many personal reasons to believe that. But we just come here to learn. And as I said, we learn by trial and error. Where in our separated self, we use all this God-given power to make sickness. Where God is wanting us to make wholeness and healing. We made lack. Lack is a problem throughout the world. Lack of rain, lack of whatever, lack of food, lack of water. We made all of that. We can change it all also. We can change all of it with our power, our God power. So we're here to correct that. God gave us a teacher, an internal teacher, to help us do all of this. Most of it call that teacher the Holy Spirit. You might call it a still small voice within, or the voice, I often call it just the voice, or you might think of it as your instinct or your inner guidance. But all of us have that teacher within our heart that will always put us on the right path. The problem is we don't what? We don't listen. It'll be saying, don't do this, don't do that, or do this, do that. And we just think, no, I'll do my own thing. And God always puts us on the right path. We just must learn to listen. That's probably our biggest thing. Many of you love the concept of the law of attraction. And there are books written on it. Many of you probably taken classes on it. The law of attraction is a two-edged sword. It will bring you all the good that your mind is tuned into, but it will also bring you all the bad. Not good news, right? You didn't really want to hear me say that. But it has to be that way. If you can attract good by your thoughts and your actions, you can also attract the negative. And that again is a way that we learn. Our minds, both collectively, us as a group, and individually, I want you to hear this, are the most powerful force in the universe. Your mind is the most powerful force in the universe. We have great scientists like Einstein say, well, you're only using this much of your brain. That's true, but our mind's even more than our brain. It is such a powerful thing that we actually create our world every day. But we don't see that. It's all kind of hidden from us. I told you last week that, as Fillmore said, we create first in our imagination. We think something, it comes into our imagination, and then it will manifest. The manifestation time can be moments, days, years, centuries from a previous life. But a thought really held in your mind is going to find a way to express itself in the world. But you can always change your mind. In an instant, you can change your mind. In the Course in Miracles, we call that the holy instant. That instant when we can actually change our pathway. What does that mean? You got to be really vigilant. You have to be really vigilant about what you're thinking at any given moment. If you could go back and look at every thought you've had since you woke up this morning, first of all, you would have had thousands. And how many could you put in a really positive category? And how many were the day is too great, the traffic's going to be too bad, my toast burned, negative, 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 negative. Would you agree with me? Hands up. Did anybody here not have a single negative thought? I'm going to let you come up here and talk. Okay? It's just our human nature. It's the separated mind wants to always see the glass half empty. It's just the nature of the separated mind. So you have to be really vigilant about your thoughts. And we're going to talk about that a little more in a minute. Don't fall into the ego mind trap of, I can't change my mind, my attention, my thinking, I can't do it, I can't do it. I hear that all the time. I just think bad things all the time. And what are you doing with the law of attraction then? You're going to get the answer a lot today. If you're thinking negatively, the law of attraction will do what? Give you more to get upset about it. And you've all had those days when it's like nothing went right today. Nothing has gone right in my life for 14 years, 22 days, and 7 minutes. Nothing's gone right. I'm not real surprised the way you're talking. Or people who say it's all going right, who've gotten control of their creative power. And you can do something as simple as saying, when that thought comes to you, I reject that thought. I just reject it. You don't get all into it and figure out why you said it, you just, I reject it. That may seem overly simple, but that's the start. I reject that thought. And I choose a different thought. I will see this differently. And it might take you some time to do that, but it will work if you keep your attention on it. And then the last point, the bottom line is this, and this is pure with Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore. I may say it a little differently, but it's the same point. The bottom line, our thoughts, our thinking create the framework for our lives, for the creative aspect of God that I talked about last week, to manifest what we're thinking about. Our Father, God, is a really loving teacher. He's like a really fine teacher in a school who will allow kids to make a mistake so they can learn how to correct them themselves, not correct it for you. And you've all had that experience. Many of you probably been that way with your own children. They fumbled and stumbled something. But you let them because they learned and became stronger. And God does that for us, but we're never lost. We're never lost with God. So, into our lesson for today. How do we become aware and use this clear connection? I'm going to use my hands a lot here today. Here you are. Here's God's mind. Actually, truth, they're all together. But for illustrating, I'll do it this way. You have a direct line right into the mind of God, who's got many aspects to God. God is more vast, more huge than anything we can conceive of. One aspect of God is called the creative aspect, that aspect that manifests our thoughts for us. And that's the only aspect where really we don't need to align our thinking with Him. He aligns His thinking with us so that we can bring forth and learn from it. So, how do we do this? Well, the first thing I want to tell you is this, and get this real clear, because it's going to be the opposite of what you think. You cannot make an effort at doing it. You can't say, oh, this is going to be huge. This is such an effort. What happens when you make an effort? If you make an effort, in your mind, you have already decided that the goal is going to be really tough to get to. And you've only created obstacles. We tell kids, wrongly, you're going to have to make a big effort to get this done. You're not going to get this back unless you make a bigger effort. Do you see how that actually sets up a trap? Even the thought of effort does. I want you to really think about that. Because think of how often you may tell someone else, you just tell yourself, this is going to take too much effort to get done, I can't do it. And you've immediately said, there will be many things in my way that I can't get this done. From a vibrational level, and I know I talk about this every week, but it's who I am. And I just want to help you so much with this. Vibrationally, what you do when you talk about effort is you're pumping a lot of energy and attention onto the problems you must overcome instead of putting your attention on the end result. Can you see that? I need to know that you're with me on that. You're putting your attention and your energy on the problem instead of seeing clearly the end result. Your focus, your attention should always be here and not on how difficult the road's going to be. You'll make the road much harder if you concentrate on that. As I said, the law of attraction then will just simply make the obstacles greater and greater. So our lives are created instant by instant by what's going on up here. And we need to begin to visualize end results and not the journey. End results and not the journey. And to do this, I've got two major points today, and here's the first one, and I need you to really listen carefully because it's hard for me to explain it. I shouldn't say it's hard for me to explain it. I just explain it myself, right? It's easy to explain. Right. I'm going to give you an example of a vacation. I decide I'd like to go on a really nice vacation. I want to enjoy someplace and really be involved in it. But I say, what's that called? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Okay. And it's, instead of being my attention on the vacation, my attention is on, I don't have enough money to go. I need to get the money to go on this vacation. You can see that thinking, right? Okay. I want this, but I'm so preoccupied I don't have money. So I'll even try to pray my way to get more money. I'll try to do anything. I'll work extra hours, I'll do everything. And I'll put so much energy there that I may or may not, with all my effort, get to take that vacation. So when you're trying to visualize the good you want in your life, forget the journey. Just forget the journey. See only your destination. God and I can say, I'll fulfill your getting there. And it may be in many different ways. You might win a trip. You might be someone who wants to take you there. God has limitless ways to give me that vacation. But when my attention is, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money, God will say, I'm sorry you made that choice then, but I guess you don't have any money. That really is how it works. That truly is how it works. And that's one thing we don't get from a lot of truth teachers. The honest truth that we're hung up on the problem instead of joy, celebrating the destination. Don't make endless lists of why you can't do something. Don't even think about writing down why you can't do something. Just enjoy where you're going. Now, do you get that idea? So what you must do then is dream your dreams, make your acclamations and all of that, but be who you are right now. For you are who you are right now. Let me give you another example. I want a totally new body image. I want to suddenly have a 32-inch waist, a 40-inch chest, and just be magnificent. That's what I want to do. Okay, so seeing that, I'm thinking, I'm really overweight. I really like to eat all this food. I can't get to the gym on time. Carlos will just give me hell for this. And all of this stuff, I'm hung up on the problem. I'm stuck in my problem. I'm not releasing the problem and saying to God, mine, you're taking me here, and the way you take me there is not my concern. The way God takes me there is not my concern. I'll trust Him to do that. This requires great trust that God knows the way. You just simply said, my bus ticket says a better body, and God said, that's fine, I got a bus ticket on right here. But if I say, I'm so hung up on everything And every time I look in the mirror, I'm so discouraged and all that. God will say, you really love me here, don't you? You're giving me so much attention. I know you may not find this a comfortable thing. You may not believe it. I want you to put it in your mind and take it home and think of it. You are what you are right now. You are what you are right now. And you don't want to give all your energy and focus to all the things you find wrong with yourself. Because focusing on them, by paying attention to them, the law of attraction says, well, I guess you enjoy problems so much, I'll give you a couple more. You can't do that. So in your visualization, this is the step that of all the people I've talked to in my 30 years of working in churches and talking to individuals make the mistake. They can't get this step done. They want this, but they can't get this without correcting this step. Remain who you are at this moment. In other words, you've got to avoid these kinds of words. You find yourself saying something like this: I need to be richer. I need to be more handsome. I will meet that wonderful woman when I am more handsome. I need to have more money. I need to live in a better neighborhood. Ooh, I definitely need a new wife or husband. I need. That person's not going to go anywhere. Just say, I am what I am, but I've chosen a new goal. Ignore your reasons why you can't do it. Does that make some sense to you? I really want you to think about it, because you will find that you can change your life if you change that. You may find it hard not to be critical of yourself. You may find that difficult because we're so trained to find life to be hard. I grew up in a household where it was always so, life is hard. You've got to make a bigger effort. I believe that. Did a lot of you grow up that way? Of course you did. It was part of the generation and the time. But God says, life is a joy. I gave you an entire universe to play in. An entire universe of joy and good and love. And you keep over there in that little corner where there's no light. Get away from that. And don't say I have to be different. Don't say you have to be different. So that's point one. And that alone will change your life if you really, really practice it. And the second point is this. No matter what your life is actually like in this moment, you look for all of the good in this world that you can possibly find. You look for good and you rejoice in good. If you want to win the lottery, I'll tell you the best way not to win it is to be resentful of the people who did. I'm serious. If you take that example to anything, you want a new car, but you resent those neighbors who just bought a beautiful new convertible? Well, they shouldn't have that. I should have that. You know, you're absolutely putting up a barrier to God helping you. You just can't do that. You must look for good everywhere. When someone wins the lottery, say good for them. Maybe you wouldn't agree with how they handle it.Maybe you don't approve of anything about their lifestyle, but good for them that they want it. Good for them that they found that job. Even though I haven't found mine yet, I'm really glad somebody got that job. You look for anything you can to praise, because what does that do? It changes your internal energy. It lifts your vibration, Ben's favorite word. It lifts your vibration to be closer and closer to the vibration of God, to the vibration of the divine. Because God is love. God doesn't go around hating. God's not going to say, oh, I hate the person for that car. And you're God. So why are you doing that? You praise. You look for good. You look for love everywhere. And the more you do that, just even driving to work in the rain, you got here safely, to work safely. That's something you can love, right? Or will you say to your office mates as you go in, damn it, what a drive I had today. You know, I hate coming to this effing place. I'm not trying to shout or be irreverent. But too many people live that way, right? Right. Instead of saying, I got here safely and I have a job to go to. I'm really grateful for that. You find things to grumble about. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I have known some people in my life, and they even have two, who do nothing. The only word they know is, how much can I grumble? And do you like to be around them? Oh, you just can't wait to go to a party so you can hear the last 2014 things that have been bad in their life in the last hour. We all know one of those people. You know, don't be one of them. It is the active presence of your attention to the good that allows that which is non-physical right now to materialize in your world. It is your active focus and attention on the good that will allow the non-physical to manifest in your world. So really, here's how simple this is. If you feel good, if you look for the good, if you find things to praise and love, really good things are going to come to you. Not as a reward from God. It's simply the law of creation. Or if you decide to look for the bad in everything and find things to grumble and complain about, you'll get more of it. It's that simple. Look for the good. Look for the right. Proverbs has that wonderful section in the Bible that says, think only on these things. Think only on these things. That which is lovely, that which is good, that which is holy. It doesn't say, look on your neighbor getting more than you do, or look on their kid being more successful in school. It says, think on what's good and holy and true. You're getting a powerful lesson right there in Proverbs. It's incredible. If you think only on the good, you will find your life will begin to manifest only good. That's the whole point. That's how this universe operates. But we resist the simplicity of it all the time. I recently had a wonderful experience. Some of you have heard about it. And I just want to tell you about it briefly. I'm going to tell you much more about it a little later. But I went to a healing center in Ohio that uses a highly spiritually inspired but scientifically based healing system. And it uses vibrational energy. And all you need to do is go into a room and be with that energy, which is being generated through very powerful computers. And it's amazing what happens to you, because you find your whole body changing, your whole outlook changing. It's very spiritual based, but it's presented in a scientific way. I've fallen in love with this thing, and I will tell you more about it in times to come. But what I want to share is an experience I had when I was at the center. I left the building, well, first of all, it generates this very powerful, high energy level. But you're not even particularly aware of it, except you feel it. You feel it. I would feel like these waves come up my body and go. And another one come up my body and go. And it's like my whole physical being and my whole mental attitude were significantly changed in those 4 hours. But I left the building with my companion still in there. I went out a few minutes early, and I went outside the building. And one of the things I found out was the energy from this apparatus thing that this woman has created, who, by the way, is a Harvard-trained doctor and a scientist, very powerful, Dr. Michaels, who created this. Anyway, the energy goes about 2,000 feet, which means it goes out of the building. So I went out of the building, and I hope I don't mean to embarrass you, Michelle, but Michelle also has had this experience. And I noticed something that only really fully hit me a couple of days later, and I began researching it. Because I saw a surprising number of animals coming to the building. Just coming. I watched a dog walk up from the road, cross a big lawn, and come to the building. I thought maybe he was going to go to the door to be fed or something. It didn't. It went and just found this place and come up by the building. And I saw several of those. So then I began to research what was going on. And I said, well, animals instinctively know if they're hurt, they'll be healed by coming into this energy. Animals are so wise. Animals give up their love so freely, right? Look at a dog who will just love you when you're even really cruel to them. They will just love you. They trust. And they feel that energy somehow, and they're drawn to it. Oh, that we as human beings could be so drawn to the good all the time. But we resist it. But I was deeply, deeply taken by that. And then I discovered another healing center. They were finding any flowers they planted by the building bloomed 3 times as much as flowers that were planted outside of the building. You need to know a lot about this. Would you agree with me, Michelle? Without question. It is an incredible experience. We had a taste of that the other night. If you were here, the singing bowls, she created some spiritual vibrations on those bowls that transcended. They actually transcend you. We need to have those folks back again. That lady who played the balls and her husband. Very, very powerful energies were being created in this room. So it's sort of the same kind of thing there. And so I think about what I'm doing all this. I was thinking about the animals going, and I thought about what Jesus said. You must be like little children. For little children will just trust that. Little children would trust going up to the building, where we might say, I don't feel like walking 200 feet, or I don't believe this stuff anyway. The little child's will. Jesus said that. And even more powerful, I think, is when Jesus said, be like the lilies, growing in the field. They don't have to do anything. They just enjoy being a lily. They can be perfect as they are. Oh, Jesus said so many wondrous things. Most of us who came from traditional backgrounds don't really understand what he was talking about at all. But now that we have eyes to see, it's incredible. Be like a lily. Just accept the sunshine. Accept the rain. Be beautiful and grow. And that's kind of the experience for this healing thing. I really want to tell you a lot more about this in coming weeks. Not to convince you to go, but I think you should know about it. So, these 2 things I want to ask you to do is to get rid of what you think you should be now to get here. Just be who you are. You may have to work at that. But see this goal, whatever it may be, and say, just as I am today, I deserve it. Just as I don't have to change anything. I don't have to go to church more often. I don't have to tithe more often. I don't have to take a diet. I don't have to do anything. I am who I am. And I'll let God do the journey. All you have to do is have the vision. That's lesson 1. And the second, seek all the good that you can find in this world. On your way home today, see how much beauty you can see. See how many things are wonderful in this world. All the people you know that you love. If I had any habit that I would suggest to you at all, is when you wake up every morning after you say good morning to God, is start your list of good for the day. Or your gratitude for the day. Which are sort of the same. You know, and I will guarantee you, I will stand behind this guarantee that you will find incredible opportunities in your life. So, as you try to live a better life, think about it. What are you giving God mine to fulfill? He's up there, we'll call him the he right now. He's there saying, what can I do for you? And you say, Father, I want to experience this. And it's all right to experience. It's all right to experience love. It's all right to experience travels and wonderful homes. And God doesn't care. Matter of fact, if you like them, he loves that. Don't feel guilty. Just do it the right way. And always be mindful that it was God who took you there. So, just think about it. What signal are you giving appreciate that. Last week I introduced a new way of using our breath, and I was asked by several people to review that, and we will. Now, there are many ways to use breath spiritually, and one of the ways that we do it on our regular meditations, when we take it in and hold it, it's a wonderful way to relax the body and focus the mind. So I'm not suggesting that we change that in any way. I still use that all the time myself. It's a great thing. But what I introduced to you was a way that the Essenes used breathing as a meditation. The Essenes were a very spiritual group at the time of Jesus. It's believed that Jesus actually was a member of the Essenes, and that probably the senior members of that community were the ones who taught Jesus as a young man. I don't know that that's true, but I can certainly see that Jesus would have been a part of it. Now, here's the principle behind this really simple breathing meditation. It's called a meditation, not an exercise. That the universe, being of God, is filled with every possible good thing that you could want. And you're just thinking of it. You're just thinking of it. Triggers the universe to produce that in great abundance all around you. Let me give you an example. Health. You're thinking, my body wants more health. That very thought is a signal to the universe to produce molecules of perfect health all around you, or perfect abundance, or fulfillment. Because look how powerful your thoughts are, you're creating your world. So your very thought creates it. It's hanging around you. It's just swimming around you. And then in breathing, you get quiet. You state your intention. I'll use my example here again of health. It's a good one for all of us. I want to experience more and more good health. And I thank God ahead of time that I will. And then all I do is get quiet and start breathing in the very molecules around me of health. 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 Get the idea? Health. And your body and your mind are being flooded with health, or with prosperity, or with love, whatever it is you wish. But God is that, can be all of those and more. So the very air I breathe can be filled with health. Well, next to me, you're taking in prosperity. Don't limit God in any way. And you just do that with an occasional thought. So I might do this. Health. Health. I'm breathing in the health of God. Just a phrase like that. And you can say all this in your mind. Any questions on that before we do it? I'd like you to choose, take a moment to choose something that you want to bring into your life. You're not going to worry about what it is. You just choose something. And we're going to all close our eyes together. And I'll just guide you for a moment. And then just let you have the experience. And you can do this at home, anywhere. So let's do it together. So in your mind, you've chosen that which you wish to experience. Realize that you're choosing it means that God mind responds. You know that He always answers. And so now the very air that we breathe is filled with the essence that you wish to experience. Thank God for that. Gratitude is so important for us to do. And now, just begin a gentle process of breathing in. Breathe in. Let it flood your body. Breathe in. And let that which you desire flood your mind, your personality, your physical being, your aura. breathe it in. See it actually in the air, in the ethers, coming into you. Embrace it with your heart. Feel whatever it is flooding your heart center, your heart. And there's so much good that God wants to give you. And you can say like David, sons, my cup runneth over. There's so much good coming to me. So much good. Let's take a moment or so, a minute in silence to let you communicate with your God. It says, it is my pleasure to give you the kingdom. Feel God's gift within you. He loves that you desire it. For it is God's nature to give it. Practice this at any time you want. For seconds. For minutes. Let yourself, pardon me, come slowly back to this room, to this place. But as you do, thank the God of your being who loves you with incredible love for giving you these gifts. And say, thank you, Father, for truly my cup runs over with goodness. And as we believe, so it is. Thank you, Father, that each person here has received the gift they were seeking. We are grateful. Now let's join in the singing of the Lord's Prayer and make it a prayer of thanksgiving. For God has heard you, and God has answered. be made manifest in our lives in some way. And so we pray that we say the right words and have the right meditations, that we take responsibility for our happiness. Let us join in our congregational response. We'll now give our tithes and offerings. Now I want you to think of those as differently. Don't think of giving to the church as an obligation, something you have to do, because then you make it an obligation. See, every thought you have creates something for you. But if you want to see Unity East thrive and grow, if you want to see it as being a part of a community of believers, then give for that reason, that it can flourish. But have that intention in your heart. Think about this as we do our prayer together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Amen.
You're so much
good morning to Emma.
Welcome, Emma.
Good morning.
Glad to see you here. Okay, announcements. I have 4 announcements. I'll do this very quickly because it certainly smells good from the kitchen, let me tell you. Like I just mentioned, this morning is a big breakfast. Everybody, please enjoy. Also, Tony Camilletti and the Rhythm Rebels. Tickets are on sale right now. They are $12 and they are going fast. So please get your tickets. They're $12 now, but they're $15 at the door. All proceeds, remember, go to the Roof Fund, which we're doing really well with. Unity 101 membership classes are coming in October. Reverend Anita and Linda Ridley will be taking care of that. Even if you're, let's say, a long-time Unity person, it's a good idea to at least come to a couple of the classes just to refresh your memory. And also, we talk about how this particular Unity is run, so you'll be more familiar with what the goings-on and who the board members are, and things like that. So it is a really good class, even though you may have been a Unity member for a long time. Also, don't forget the shoes for the homeless because it is getting colder, and especially size 12 men's shoes. If you know of anyone or have any size 12 men's shoes that are in good condition, please don't forget to bring them in. Okay, I think that's it. Great. We can circle up for the B song and the prayer for protection. Don't forget to move towards the walls so everybody has a big circle.
Have a wonderful week. Go and enjoy a breakfast.